on BBC Three Counties Radio.
It is Sophie Suhelria. It's 11:30-ish and we're having Easter fun this morning on BBC Three Counties Radio. And now we're going to talk about blogging. Right, some of you may not have even heard of the idea of blogging, but it's essentially, in my terms, getting a subject you enjoy talking about, writing it up like a diary and then putting it on the internet. And that's about as much as I know. So to tell us more is an expert. She's an author and mummy blogger, Lisa Pearson from St Albans. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Sophie.
Lisa, hi, listen. I've been so rude. You've been sitting here. I've been faffing about. There are some cakes here, look.
Yum.
Look what I brought.
You can cook too.
No, right,
I
okay.
can't cook at all.
Yeah, I can. I've made these really great butterfly cakes that I'm going to Twitter and say that I made. But in actual fact, my mother-in-law's listening now. Hi, Pam. Hi. She made them. I didn't make these cakes. She's amazing. She makes the most amazing fairy cakes, and she made a lot for Easter. And I said, oh, you know what? I really need for my show cakes. So here, you have a fairy cake, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself, Lisa.
Oh, where do you want me to start?
Right, let's start with St Albans and the fact that you live there.
Moved here when I fell pregnant very, very suddenly because I wasn't meant to be able to have children. Needed to shorten the commute, basically. So arrived 2 months to spare. Had my son.
Yeah, that was unexpected because you didn't know.
Very unexpected because I wasn't. From 19, I was told no children. And then they said no more children. So I'm just getting used to him growing up, and I have my daughter.
Another one.
Yeah.
So that's good. You're a miracle.
Yes.
A miracle from St Albans. So blogging then, how did you go from being Wonder Mum to being parent blogger?
Well, initially I had a little business and I thought, well, you know what, if I start to write, people will get to know me. It's nice. There's a recession. People need to know you a bit better. So I thought, well, I'll start to write. And then, well, I just love writing and I loved it more than the business in a way. I mean, it's kind of taken over my life because I ended up writing a book and it's on Amazon and everything. So it really, writing is wonderful. I am very passionate because it kind of takes over and it gives you a chance to work out who you are, which is very important when you're a mum because you start to forget.
So you didn't know that you could write until your babies came, is that right?
No, exactly. I did that typical thing. You know, when you're at school and I happened to be able to vaguely do maths and physics, and so they said, oh, look, she's a girl. She must therefore be really scientific and we must make her do science.
Oh, you were pushed into something that you don't particularly think you were natural at.
Yeah, I preferred reading. But they were like, no, that's too easy. We won't do what's easy and natural for you. Let's go and do something you don't really want to do. So I did that, became a geek, went into IT.
Yeah.
And then kind of started to rethink myself after a while.
And just decided to get it out there on paper.
Yeah, I went all tree huggy for a bit.
Oh, did you literally?
I have hugged a tree.
I can't believe it. Did you stand on a cliff and wave and say, oh, I'm a tree?
I
you know, like the art
do that, but I have kind of ommed at the moon.
You've ommed at the moon?
I have ommed at the moon.
Have you written about that?
I've written very little bits about that. I don't always quite admit how tree
You were a proper tree hugger. Amazing.
But I'm half geek, half tree hugger.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like normal, or normal-ish too. So I started writing this blog. Did you know St Albans is the blogging capital of the whole of England?
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
It is, and there's loads in Herts, Beds and Bucks actually. It's a big area for blogging. Yeah. So that was fab because there was already people here. There was already a community. But also, you do get a bit isolated as a mum, especially after a bit, people go back to work, you're a bit left alone. And so it's a way of meeting other people because you get on Twitter and Facebook, obviously, and you meet lots of people with similar interests.
But do you actually meet them? Eventually
you do. For a while, I just kind of hung around on the outskirts, to be fair. And then I got some confidence when I won an award.
Wow.
I love winning awards.
Was that for your twittering?
No, it was for my writing.
For your blogging?
It was for my blogging, yeah.
So tell us a bit more about the blogging then. Have you got you've got a blogging website, blogging website called Mummy Whisperer.
That's
haven't
right.
You?
Yeah, the Mummy Whisperer blog. Yeah.
And is that where you won your award?
Yes.
So what's on the Mummy Whisperer blogging site?
Well, I'm all about the mum. I'm not really about parenting because the parenting techniques, they kind of make everybody miserable, frankly. So it's all about how, I help to enjoy myself and other people, tips for that sort of thing. At the moment, I'm a bit of a weight loss thing, hence the cakes are lovely.
Cakes. Yeah. Sorry about the cakes. Did I tell you my mother-in-law forced me to bring those in and feed them to my guests?
Yes.
Honestly.
It's all her fault.
It's all her fault. You're looking tiny. Is that because of your weight loss blog?
I actually, yes, I've done a lot of weight loss stuff before because it's part of my kind of coaching that I've learned. So I have written all that up. But then I put on weight. I've been ill for the last year and I put a bit of weight on, so I need to just edge it back again.
So what I'm learning basically from this blogging thing is you get a million different interests that you like. So you start on one, I guess, the mummy thing. You then get another few interests like the weight loss and the tree hugging and all the rest of it. You write it up as you go, and essentially it's just like a story of you that people tune into and read.
Yes, exactly. I mean, some people, it's literally just a diary. A blog is meant to be very short and pithy. It's not like writing a book or a newsletter or something that's really complicated. It's meant to be short with lots of pictures and fun to read, you know.
And how do people start from their very beginning? Whenever it's like the people out there, even myself now, you know, how do you start? Right, I'm going to start this blog about, I don't know, butterfly cakes.
There's a couple of free platforms,
right?
So you just have a think about a name that would work for you. Have a look, make sure nobody else has got the name on the internet, and then you could go somewhere like WordPress.com. Tell them to tweet me later, and I'll give you all the links if you want. But you go somewhere like WordPress.com, and you can set up a free blog. So it's totally free. You don't have to do anything really complicated, and you just start writing.
Literally.
Yeah. Just start writing. And if you have a particular interest, like if you're a parent, then there are a couple of parenting groups and communities. So you just start getting involved. Read other people's stuff. Reading other people's stuff is really good because it gives you a taster and you can start to comment and you start to kind of interact. It's like a normal relationship. It just takes a bit longer.
Yeah.
Because you just have to kind of work at it. You can't expect to be friends
Lisa,
a second.
Fascinating. Right, let's get some music. We'll come back to talk a bit more about blogging and then a little bit more about coping mechanisms because you've coped with an awful lot.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to learn a lot this afternoon. Thanks. First though, Mick Hucknall. It's his new song. I like this one. Turn Back the Hands of Time. He's done all right.
Oh, darling, I'm so lonely without you. Can't sleep at night, always thinking about you. But if I had the chance to start all over, I would be wishing today on a four-leaf clover, and leaving would be the last thing on my mind. If I could turn back the hands of time. Oh, baby. Oh, darling, I can't hold out much longer. Oh, the pain is getting deeper. Oh, the hurt keeps getting stronger. But if I had just one more try, I would be yours and yours alone until the day I die. And we could have a love so divine if I could turn back the hands of time. Oh, darling, remember, girl, that I love you. Oh, darling, please, please let me come back home. Your love has been so good to me, baby. I just realized without it I can't go on. 'Cause you're the other half that makes my life complete. If I had one more chance, we'd have a love so sweet, and leaving would be the last thing on my mind. If I could turn back the hands of time. Oh, baby.
That's Mick Hucknall, Turn Back the Hands of Time. Lisa, do you like it? Oh, I'll turn your mic up. All right, now, do you like it?
I really enjoy the show, especially as we've actually got a woman on the show. What a change.
Oh, I love that you're talking about me. I was talking about Mick Hucknall, but we can talk more about me then. Yeah, you like me on the show.
I do.
I'm pleased to hear it.
Well, it's always men. I'm not complaining. I like a man, but nice to hear a woman's voice.
I know. Instead of those JVS people.
Well, they're miserable. They're a bit grumpy at times.
JVS is miserable.
A little bit.
I love it. I love that you said that because this week he called me common. I know, on air. So I'm happy that you call him miserable. So there you go, James. I may be common, but you're miserable. Right, Lisa, yes, you're here in the studio. It's Lisa Pearson from St Albans, author, mummy blogger, mummy extraordinaire, really, tree hugger. We've learnt quite a bit this last 10 minutes. Lisa,
A lot.
you've done it. You've a very lot. You've lost a lot of weight, and you've tree hugged, and you've done a lot of things in your life.
I have, but I'm not extraordinary. I'm just a mum.
You're just a mum that does a lot.
Yeah,
most
and I
mums
really
are
love being a
extraordinary.
mum. And I think that's the most important thing. Just enjoy being a mum. Don't worry about all the other stuff and all the other people and everybody else who tries to make you miserable. Just ignore them. Enjoy being a mum.
Ignore JVS. Right, we were just talking earlier about blogging and how to get started and interested in blogging, and a couple of things struck me. You basically said you're writing a diary and you're putting it out there for people to read, which I totally understand. What frightens me slightly is that that's a lot of information about yourself out there on the internet that you can't really get rid of, and people will sort of learn about and get to know you about. It's a bit intrusive, isn't it?
So different people have different attitudes. I am a little bit careful. Like I don't use my children's names, so you couldn't Google them and find them through my blog. I talk about them lightheartedly, but I think as they get older, I will talk about them less. Same goes for the husband, who I call the big, hairy northern one.
Is he big, hairy and northern, or is that just
he is.
That's not unfair then?
No.
Carry on.
So I talk about him a bit, but not too much, because it's not his blog, it's not his choice, is it? So he's supportive, but I think that's reasonable. Other people, yes, they do blog about everything, and you do kind of take a when you read it. I blog about most things, but not everything.
Well, let's talk about one of the things you blog about, the weight loss thing. And you said there that you wrote a recent book which did incredibly well. You were surprised by its success, weren't you?
Yeah, because I wrote it myself, and it's got to number 2 on Amazon.
I mean, that's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What's it called?
It's called 6 Steps to Sparkling You and Enjoying Being a Mum.
Wow.
Because
and
there
that's
are
got
just 6 steps.
6
yeah.
steps. What are these 6 steps then? I'm intrigued.
It's really, really basic. I mean, it's when you get really down and hardly anything can pull you out of it. And so the first step is a little bit to do with your mind. You always start with your mind, because otherwise you keep spinning round and round and down and down and down. I look at really simple things like counting your blessings can reduce your stress, and taking a pause every day can just calm you down. You know when you make a cup of tea, if you make a cup of tea but you listen to the sound of the water and the feeling of the cold water and the weight of it, you feel the weight of it. So it's like a Zen meditation, and you could do it every day. So it's one moment that you're going to breathe properly,
To focus your mind.
yes, just to calm, just a minute.
So is this like a coping mechanism when things are starting to get going really wrong?
Yes, so I list a lot of coping mechanisms that are practical for someone who's very, very busy.
That's I really want this book.
and then there's things about getting more time, because you need more time in order to be able to do the other stuff, which basically probably means you're going to stop doing things that aren't important. And then very simple tips on how to get healthy, because we don't know a lot about nutrition and very basic stuff. All those weight loss companies, they try to keep it very, very quiet, and it's actually very simple how to be healthy and fit and strong, and they don't want you to know. They want you to keep coming back over
How
and
do you
over
keep
again.
healthy, fit and strong, Lisa?
Drink water,
Right.
reduce the caffeine.
So I'm sitting here next to a cup of coffee and no water.
One's all right.
How about 3
3
in one morning?
Well, then no more.
Okay.
No more. And your meal, your plates, right? A portion of protein, which is chicken or meat or whatever, is the size of your palm. And then half the plate is veg or salad, and another quarter, so another portion size, is carbs, your potatoes and your pastas. Right? That is a healthy, balanced meal.
Fairly basic, really.
It's pretty easy.
But yet so difficult to keep in practice. I eat, and that's the issue, you see. I get hungry, it gets served, I eat it.
That's because you're not eating regularly, you're not having snacks, and you haven't done the mindset thing. So what you need to do is, when you've got yourself a bit more time, then you think about what you really, really like, and you spend some time really working out about who you are. And then you link getting healthy to who you are, and you link getting fit to who you are. So the reason I care is because I want to see my grandchildren, and I want to be running around with them.
I see. Yes, I see the future.
Yeah,
I like it.
See, so that's how you do it. You link it to what you care about.
How do you care about art? Lisa?
Art's really important for the children and the imagination. It's fascinating.
Well, an exhibition has just opened at Henry Moore's House and Grounds in Hertfordshire, and we're going to speak to somebody that has just seen it. Moore Rodin gives you the chance to experience both artists working together for the first time ever, and it's the first time that Rodin's work's been presented here in Britain, so it's even more exciting. All at Henry Moore's grounds of his former home in Perry Green in Hertfordshire. With us now is art critic Estelle Lovett, who was lucky enough to have a tour of the sculptures with Mary Moore, his daughter. Estelle?
Good morning.
Happy Easter.
And you. Actually, can I just ask your guest, is it important the size of the plate?
Yeah, I was sort of thinking that myself.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. When I use one of those dessert size plates. Not a side plate, but a dessert size, not a big full-on thing. The big hairy northerner uses a big plate. I use a dessert one.
Okay.
Estelle, do you like your food as well?
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Good
definitely.
for you. Happy Easter, by the way.
Yeah, didn't we all pig out on chocolate yesterday?
This is why Lisa's here to tell us how to get on the straight and narrow again. Estelle, tell us a bit about the exhibition that you went to last week.
Yeah, it's just absolutely fabulous that this Moore Rodin exhibition is essentially in Henry Moore's back garden. Okay, he had 70 acres, it was a huge estate, and it was his home and his workshop, and he had a foundry there, and etc. But essentially it's his back garden, plus sheep. Not like most of us. And you walk around, and in the gardens generally anyway, you can see Henry Moore's sculptures, which he sited himself with the help of his little Russian wife who used to do the gardening. And now, for the first time, they've invited another artist onto his estate to exhibit with him, and that artist is Rodin, who's probably the greatest French Impressionist sculptor ever. And the reason that they connect so well is because they both loved Michelangelo. And what's very unusual about this exhibition as well is that you can see their inspiration. It's not just their huge 10-foot bronze sculptures in the grounds that you can go up to and touch and sit on, but also if you have a look around some of the show cabinets which Moore's daughter Mary conceived and put together, you will see the artifacts and little bits and pieces, bits and bobs that both artists collected, and they're quite similar, and many times they aren't even priceless works of art. Many times, for example, Moore used to go along the beach in Frinton and used to be totally bored out of his head, and Mary told me that he would pick up little bits of shell and things that he found on the beach and say to her, "Oh, look at this looks like a so-and-so sculpture, or isn't this a beautiful work of art?" And he'd bring it home and he'd put it in a piece of plasticine and put it on the mantelpiece.
And that's like my children.
Yeah, it sounds. I was going to say it sounds a little bit like what I did when I was little. I just picked things up, gave them to Mum, and they got rid of a few hundred years later. But did Mary Moore? She's Henry Moore's daughter. She must have been a fascinating lady to meet and tell you all these secrets about her father. You must have been so honoured to have been there and listened.
It was a real eye-opener, in fact. And other things, for example, the foundry on site, when Anthony Caro, who now, of course, is Sir Anthony Caro, one of our greatest sculptors, when he tried to get the bronze hot enough in the foundry to cast one of Moore's sculptures, it never got hot enough. So he used to go into Moore's kitchen, and his little Russian rude wife would be there, Irina. She was a bit abrupt, let's not say rude, maybe. And he'd say, "I just need to boil up some bronze in your saucepan," and she used to go mad. You know what it's like when you burn a saucepan, you can't get it clean, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful day out, regardless of the weather. So you either take trainers or Wellington boots. It doesn't matter. And you just keep going back because, of course, the sculptures look different under different weather conditions. And we have had snow, and we've had a day of sunshine yesterday. So Lord knows what it will be like today or tomorrow. But it doesn't matter. You just want to keep going back and look around all these wonderful, huge sculptures. one of the Rodin pieces has been taken from outside the Houses of Parliament in London. So it's the first
Do
time
they
it's
mind?
been moved. Well, it's all been agreed.
Oh,
it's
good.
all okay. And they took it down on the back of a lorry. And this is just an exceptional chance to see sculpture on the outside. I think that's really how sculpture is meant to best be seen. Because if you see it in the gallery, a lot of time there isn't a big enough space to walk all the way round the sculpture to appreciate it in the 3D, which of course is the way to see sculpture. So this is just magnificent, and just to see how Moore bounced off of Rodin, and in turn Rodin bounced off of Michelangelo.
That sounds absolutely amazing. Thanks so much for telling us all about it.
My pleasure.
Have a lovely day. The exhibition runs until the 27th of October at Henry Moore's House and Grounds in Hertfordshire. Moore, Rodin, it sounds fantastic, doesn't it, that?
It does. It sounds very stress relieving, actually. I think the arts and creativity and writing and all that kind of thing is really good for the soul.
It's absolutely. You're listening to BBC Three Counties Radio. It's 11:52. You're here with me, Sophie Suhelria, and our mummy blogger. She's not a mummy extraordinaire. No, you're just an ordinary mummy with a lot going on. And Lisa Pearson, she's here. She's not eating my cakes because she's on some kind of weight loss thing. I'm going to have 2 for her. Let's get some music while I try and force her down a butterfly cake. This is "Baby Come to Me" by Patty Austin and James Ingram.
Back in time when love was only in my mind, I realized ain't no second chance. You got to hold on to romance, don't let it slide. There's a special kind of magic in the air when you find another heart that needs to share. Baby, come to me. Let me put my arms around you. This was meant to be. And I'm also glad I found you. Need you every day. Gotta have your love around me, baby. Always stay. 'Cause I can't go back to living without you.
Spending every dime to keep you talking on the line, that's how it was. And all those walks together, out in any kind of weather, just because there's a brand new way of looking at your life when you know that love is standing by your side.
Patty Austin, James Ingram, "Baby Come to Me." It's 11:56. You're listening to BBC Three Counties Radio with me, Sophie Suhelria. We've still got Lisa Pearson, author and mummy blogger, in the studio. And just to finish, Lisa, we're going into the house and home part of the show in the next hour. What would you say about keeping your zen in the house?
I think it's really important. It's my 4th tip. It's about making the house work for you. Get rid of all the stale old stuff that holds you back and makes you stress because you can't move around, and it makes a massive difference to me if it's nice and clean and been decorated. A paint pot is fab.
Well, listen, if you want to stick around for the next hour, you're more than welcome. I've got an interior designer and a gardener coming in from 12 o'clock this morning. Yeah, absolutely. First, though, we've got a catch